All the footage and panoramas shown in this episode are real, not the product of neural networks or Hollywood CGI. Here are real images transmitted by rovers across millions of kilometers of the vacuum of space. Almost every detail on your screen is the genuine appearance of an alien world, captured by the lenses of pioneering robots. In these photos, Mars is shown as it really is. These shots are real. They're not fiction or the product of artists' imagination. Today we're going on a journey to Mars, a planet that has always been shrouded in mystery and myths. You will find out what Mars really is. Is it possible that life once existed on Mars? What strange and mysterious objects are hidden on the planet's surface? The most extreme places on Mars? We'll tell you facts that sometimes seem unreal. We'll compare Martian object sizes with those on Earth. We'll look deep into billions of years of the planet's history and see how humanity is gradually exploring another planet. The history of all the devices created for it, from robots to probes for Martian missions, as well as Mars orbiters. What is Mars really? Imagine a planet where rivers once flowed. There were lakes the size of seas. It rained. And maybe there was even life there. But today, it's an icy desert where the temperature drops to minus 140 degrees Celsius. And the air is so thin that a person would lose consciousness in just seconds. Mars is the fourth planet from the Sun. The average distance from Earth is about 225 million kilometers. If you travel there on a modern rocket, the journey will take about 6 to 9 months. The red planet is significantly smaller than Earth. Its diameter is almost twice as small. But the most interesting thing is the gravity. It is only 38% of Earth's gravity. This means that a person weighing 80 kilograms on Mars would feel as if they weigh only about 30 kilograms. With such gravity, the human body could develop differently. Scientists suggest that people's height on Mars could be significantly greater. If we imagine a hypothetical Martian civilization, people about 2.5 meters tall could be considered quite normal there. The Martian day even has its own name, Sol. One Sol is very similar to an Earth day, but it lasts 24 hours and 37 minutes. The difference seems small, just 37 minutes a day, but if you add it up over a year, it comes to about 9 extra days. And over 10 years, that difference turns into almost 3 months. It turns out that time on Mars passes almost the same way it does on Earth, just a little more slowly. The most noticeable feature of Mars, I think you can guess what it is. Of course, it's color. Mars is called the red planet. The reason is quite simple. The soil of Mars contains a huge amount of iron oxide, simply put, rust. For billions of years, the wind has carried this dust across the entire surface of the planet. That's why all of Mars is covered with a thin layer of reddish dust that looks like rusty sand. If you were standing on the surface of Mars, everything around you would look as if you were inside a giant clay pit, stretching for thousands of kilometers. Have you ever wondered what Mars actually sounds like? Is it absolute cosmic silence, or does the red planet have its own sound? Scientists have actually recorded the sound of Mars. It was first recorded by the rover Perseverance in 2021. Let's listen to it together. Is it possible that there was life on Mars? In 2025, one of the most intriguing discoveries of recent years took place. It allowed us to look much deeper into the history of Mars and try to understand what this planet was like billions of years ago. The rover Perseverance discovered a rock sample in which possible biosignatures were found. Traces that could be associated with life on the planet. This discovery became a strong argument in favor of the hypothesis that many scientists have been discussing for decades. But what are biosignatures? Biosignatures are chemical or structural traces that can remain after the activity of living organisms. For example, certain organic molecules or specific minerals, as well as microscopic structures that resemble traces of ancient bacteria. The discovered sample was named Chayava Falls. In this rock, researchers found several very interesting features at once. Organic molecules, minerals that form in water, structures resembling possible traces of ancient microbes. And all of this is in a Martian rock that could be billions of years old. But scientists remain very cautious in their conclusions for now. The thing is, such structures can form without the involvement of life, exclusively as a result of geological processes. That's why a single such discovery is not enough. To definitively state that life once existed on Mars, much more effort will have to be made. That's why these samples are planned to be brought to Earth as part of the International Mars Sample Return Mission. Only in laboratories on Earth, using the most precise instruments, will scientists be able to study these rocks in detail. And if there really are traces of ancient microorganisms inside, it will mean that life originated not only on Earth. And such a discovery could become one of the most important scientific events in the history of humanity. So all we can do is wait for the results and, as they say, keep our fingers crossed for our possible Martian ancestors. This brings up an interesting question for me. Would you like to know if life really existed? Or maybe it still exists somewhere else in the universe? Or is humanity truly unique after all? What do you think? What color is the sunset on Mars, really? Red, just like the planet itself? Or is it not that simple? The answer might surprise you. If our sky turns bright orange and red at sunset, on the red planet, it's the opposite. During the day, the sky there is pinkish orange, and the sunset turns blue because of Martian dust in the atmosphere. To be continued. Strange things on Mars. Mars is full of strange objects, and every year we learn more and more impressive and mysterious things about this planet. Sometimes the discoveries turn out to be so unusual that scientists have to spend years looking for explanations. For example, recently, the rover Perseverance discovered huge structures on the surface of Mars that look like giant spider webs. These formations are called boxwork. Basically, it's a kind of network of mineral ridges that formed billions of years ago when groundwater flowed through Martian rocks. Over time, the softer rock eroded away while the harder mineral veins remained, forming a bizarre stone lattice. But the most interesting thing is that on some of these structures, small round spheres were found resembling tiny eggs. So far, scientists are not sure exactly how they formed. Similar structures can arise as a result of complex chemical reactions between water and minerals. Some researchers believe that these are simply unusual geological specimens. Others suggest that such structures may be an indirect trace of ancient biological processes. But science requires caution, so scientists are not rushing to draw definitive conclusions. But the mysterious places on Mars are not limited to this. Some regions of the planet look as if time stopped there back in the era when the solar system was forming. A vivid example is the cratered regions from the Noachian era of Mars. This is the planet's oldest geological period. Another example is Samarialand, or Terra Samaria. This is one of the oldest regions on Mars. It is located in the southern hemisphere of the planet and is a vast area covered with thousands of impact craters. The age of some craters here exceeds 3.7 billion years. For comparison, there are almost no surfaces of that age left on Earth. Plate tectonics, volcanoes, and erosion are constantly reshaping our planet. But on Mars, many areas of the surface have remained almost the same as they were at the very beginning of planetary history. This makes Mars a kind of geological time capsule, where scientists can study events that happened billions of years ago.